Good recovery. Yeah, this is a good recovery drink, good recovery meal after a big workout I just had.
Us too, all of us.
What you have?
Huh?
What did you have to drink and eat?
No, I'm kidding. I've done nothing.
All right, guys. Good to see you guys. All right. Any questions?
Juwan, what kind of difference does it make in terms of game plan and prep to now play a team for the first time twice and see a group that you've already seen?
Well, what type of game plan you said?
What kind of impact does it have for you knowing that you've seen this team already?
Oh, it helps. It helps both sides. It helps them and it helps us. But overall, it's been a big gap. So I'm sure that there's a lot of things that they are doing different, which I've seen on film on some of the last games they played versus Nebraska, game versus Maryland, as well as there's another game that I watched. All these games are running crazy, but we're doing a lot of different stuff too from an offensive and defensive standpoint that I'm sure that they've scouted as well. So we're both a little bit different than where we were when the first time we played. There are also two players. Our player, which was Luke Livers, he's out. He played last time we played them. And Bohannon, their point guard, is not playing, and he played last game. So.
Is there anything in particular that you've seen on film from the last game that you've been kind of harping on in the days leading up to this game?
Anything on film from us or from Iowa?
Either. Is there anything that stands out to you?
Well, one thing that stands out to me about Iowa is that they're number one in the Big Ten in offensive efficiency. That's critical. That's something that I've noticed over the past leading up to now is that they're a very disciplined team on the offensive end. They run a lot of good sets that they're very patient in attacking the first option. If the first option is not there, they're patient enough and try to wear you down and look at the second option. If that option is not there, they have the third option. But at the end of the day, Garza, because he's touching the ball no matter what every time down the floor.
James?
Juwan, you mentioned Luka Garza. Does it make it any easier after seeing him in person? I guess game planning and trying to stop him a second time around?
No, it doesn't. You know, Garza is special talent, one of the best bigs in the Big Ten, also one of the best players in the Big Ten, very skillful, can go off of both shoulders, can shoot the ball from outside. He hasn't changed much. The only difference is the first time we played him, he attempted 32 shots. I'm not quite sure as far as how many shots he's going to take tomorrow night. But I'll just say this, that we're going to try to make his catches tough and not allow him to have the spot that he wants to catch it on, because he's very crafty getting to where he wants the ball, and his team is very patient and utilizing wherever he is on the floor and taking advantage of that defensive breakdown.
And I think Xavier has at least 8 assists in each of the last 7 games. What makes him one of the best facilitators in the nation?
You said Iowa, best facilitator?
No, Xavier Simpson has at least 8 assists in the last 7 games. What makes him such a good facilitator, one of the best in the nation?
Well, he's one of the best players in the country, one of the best point guards there is. And he's smart, crafty guard that knows how to take advantage of the defense. He's great at reading ball screens, he's great at reading coverages overall. He wants to make the right play to put us in a position to score. At times, he makes mistakes just like any player, but I'm just so happy that he's playing for us. I knew it before I took the job that I was getting a point guard that's one of the best point guards in NCAA basketball. And let's not forget, he's mentioned as one of the John Wooden finalists, and he's earned that right.
Brendan? Is there any concern, I don't know if that's the right word, but is there any concern about the toll that it takes on John when he's in single coverage defensively, how that transfers offensively? It's just just what it takes to do that amount on both sides.
No, it's no concern at all. John, he knows it. This game is for competitors only. Offensively, he has a big offensive load for us as well as defensively. But this is something that he has signed up to, and he's welcomed the challenge, and he has embraced it. the end of the day, yes, we depend on a lot from him, and he hasn't made any excuses.
Andrew?
You said Isaiah is out. I mean, is he out for tomorrow's game? Is that what you meant, or did you just mean?
No, I'm saying that I said Isaiah is one of the guys that did not play last game, and these other games that we've played thus far, he hasn't been with us, so we're a different team when we don't have Isaiah. I'm not quite sure if he's going to play tomorrow or not. We will continue to keep monitoring his progress, and he's getting better and better each day.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you've used that phrase, I guess, day to day. I think this Saturday will be 4 weeks since he got hurt.
Yeah, I'm praying day to day, honestly. We miss him. We need him. It's no way possible where I have said that he's not a big part of this team. He's a huge part of this team. But we've always had the mentality that, and our players believe it too, that whoever's out there on the floor dressed, ready to go, that we trust and believe that each and every player will give us the best chance to win that, the players that have a uniform on.
Juwan, with the last game against Iowa with Garza, I know you kind of talked about his ability to use angles. Just how do you as a defender stop that, and how important is it to stop that when you have a post player that gets that many touches?
Well, it's challenging overall how he's so skilled and so smart. He's very patient with how, before he gets the ball, setting up his post position. His teammates are very patient in finding him. No matter if the ball moves on to the other side of the floor, before the shot clock is over with, he's always going to find a way to find his hands. And he's the perfect example of ball finds energy, because he's never staying in the same spot. But what we have to do a better job of is making sure that we are aware that if the ball's on the other side of the floor, don't feel like you can relax. That know that at some point he's going to touch it. And I know Garza is listening, so I can't say exactly how we're going to guard him. But I tell you this, be honest with you, we're not going to prevent him from scoring because he's that good. But we just want to make all his catches tough as well as his shots are well contested. Make him have to work for every bucket.
Right.
How would you describe the pulse of the team right now? Is there anything notably different compared to when you guys were rolling early on this season, or?
Well, our confidence as well as our belief has not changed. There's no doubt within our team. We know no one's feeling sorry for us because we are losing one of our best players these last few games, and we lost games without him. At the end of the day, we got to keep fighting, keep plugging, and we have a very confident group that's all about finding solutions, all about coming here, getting better. What's different from the NBA is that after you lose a game on Sunday, unfortunately, you can't come back on Monday and play another game, because that's how our group felt after we lost on Sunday. They were ready to get back at it on Monday and play someone else or play the same team. For us, we had to go back and think about this for 2 days and regroup, 3 days and regroup. But overall, I love our mindset, and I love the positivity that's running through that locker room.
All right.
You mentioned forcing Garza to catch the ball farther away from the block. Is that more of an emphasis now with John?
I didn't say that. I didn't say force him to catch the ball away from the block. I was saying we just want to make his catches tough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then when I talked to John after the last game, he mentioned that you've been emphasizing having him defend bigs and forcing them to catch the ball farther away from the block. So what does that look like in practice, and how has John improved in that aspect of post defense?
Well, in practice, we're working extremely hard to get better with overall defense and not just the post, because, yes, it's easy to point out, John, that, because Garza, as well as Arturo, Kobe, and there's one other big I'm leaving off, on Williams. They all had big games, and it's like, okay, well, John's not getting the job done. John's not defending them well. No, Michigan, as a team defensively, we can do a better job defensively. It's not just relying on one individual.
But I'm just curious, another question on John. Is it difficult for him to balance being aggressive on defense early versus avoiding picking up those early fouls?
That's not our mindset or our position as far as mentally, hey, we want to go in and be less aggressive in the beginning of the game because we do not want him to get into foul trouble. We haven't had that approach at all.
Coach, how important has Franz Wagner become? 42 points over the last 3 games. He really seems to be filling out that offensive role for you.
Well, yes, he's gotten better. He's now gotten into basketball shape, game shape. Early on when he came back from his injury, he only had 1 practice, and after that practice, we went straight to the Bahamas, and there were like game after game after game, and it was just tough from a recovery standpoint for a guy to get into basketball shape after 1 game, and then you have the next game, you have another game, and your legs start to get heavy, and as far as your wind, and you're not in the basketball shape that you thought you were, but his level of competitiveness is proven that he welcomed the challenge. He was doing whatever he can to help the team win. His presence on the floor by playing hard defensively was actually better than just the ball falling in the basket for him. So now we've spent, like weeks and weeks, and we've been in it for some time now. And Isaiah was out, some of those games, and other guys stepped up, and Franz was one of them. And I knew at some point, he started playing the way that we knew he can, and I'm just speaking from an offensive standpoint because, every player wants to see the ball go through the net, and yes, fans as well as the media, when it's not going in, then they're wondering like, okay, well, where's Franz Wagner? But our coaching staff, myself included, just knew that in a matter of time, a player needs to get in basketball shape in order for him to play at the level that he's capable of playing.
Okay, Coach, I think that's going to do it.